Welcome to the very first Summit special.
Yep, this is the beginning of 2 episodes per week for the next, 10 weeks? I don't know.
It's a while.
It's
You have got us twice a week for quite some time.
That is double the content for everyone out there, so it means your journeys to and from nursery, weddings, or wherever you're going.
It's going to be taken up by us.
Lucky you, eh?
Yeah, lucky you. So, for those of you that have not listened to a Summit special podcast before, we bring these out as we get a bit closer to the Summit to, I guess in a way, try and hype everything up with when it comes to the Summit, because there's like loads happening at it and we want to kind of bring you up to speed with everything that's going on. But it's also a chance for you to hear from some of the people, some of the speakers and some of the industry pros that are going to be at the Summit. Now, again, if you've not been to one of our summits before, what is an industry pro? Jason, what is an industry pro?
An industry pro is an expert at whatever they do. That is what the dictionary told me this morning. No, so our industry pros, the way that our summit works is that, yes, you have traditional speakers on stage giving you advice on a specified topic, and that's usually like a 45-minute talk. But at our summit, there are breaks in between those talks for you to go and wander around and approach one of our industry pros. Last year, we had SEO, we had website branding, and we had Meta and Google ads. And this year, we're bringing in some industry pros who have some different skills to that. One of which is joining us today.
Our very first Summit special, Mr. Dan Yates from Daniel Yates Films. How are we, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, not at all. Not at all. Very excited to have you on. Class name, by the way, Dan. Love it. Love it. Great name.
Thank you.
We've not had a
Jason.
Jason.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, we've not had a Jason on the podcast, have we?
Nah, one's enough.
There's not many Jasons in the industry.
One's enough. One's already too many. Thank you for coming on the pod with us today, Dan. We are very, very excited to not only just have you on the team, but just I can't wait to hear some of the insights and little nuggets of information that you're going to be able to share at the summit and on this pod when it comes to your specialist subject. We'll get into that in a little minute though, but for our listeners out there that maybe don't know who you are, which I would say from our listeners, you are a very popular man, because there was a lot of people that messaged us in to say they were buzzing that you were a part of the team. But for those of you that don't know who you are, give them a little bit of an intro as to you and your business, please.
To be honest, I always find it surprising. I think I've sort of managed for the last nearly 20 years to fly under the radar in this industry, and especially being called a pro as well. Like, I find that absolutely absurd, but I'm willing to listen to other people's opinions of me. Cool. So I initially started filming weddings back in 2008, like back in the days where you would put a leaflet in your local village hall and church to drum up business. Like, social media wasn't really a thing back then. Industry's massively changed ever since then. And sort of so many, I don't know, a handful of years in, I sort of realised that the editing was where my sort of strengths lay. And I don't even know how it began, to be honest. It just sort of snowballed into people realising that I was quite quick at doing it, and therefore when they sort of hit the fan with the backlog and everything, they'd sort of approach me and say, do you want to help out? And yeah, it's gone from there really. And then the next thing I know, sort of I'm now running sort of 2 wings of the business. One, I still go out and film so many of my own weddings, and the other part is I sit there looking at a load of other weddings year round as well.
I think it is a superpower in this industry. If you have the golden touch when it comes to editing weddings, and you can just provide confidence in people to say, hey, I trust this person completely to deliver my vision, that is a superpower in this industry, and especially if you're quick.
I mean, I don't know how you do it, to be honest.
I mean,
I don't know how I do either, to be honest.
I feel like you've maybe.
I hope you don't want me to answer that question.
I feel at some point you maybe made a pact with the devil or something.
Potentially. I think one of the things we all forget is though. I think something we all forget is though, not all of us got into this industry because we enjoyed that element of it. Some people just love picking up a camera and taking photos or filming.
Yeah.
Some people love sound recording and stuff. So we've all got our strengths. And if it was an actual film set, if we were making sort of an actual Hollywood production, there'd be one person for each of those jobs, wouldn't there? It's quite a unique industry in the sense that we have to do jack of all trades. And I think you get so far into some of our businesses that you realise, hang on a minute, I should be delegating some of this stuff. Like, I'm not strong doing website SEO. That should be someone else's job. I'm not strong doing social media. That should be someone else's job.
Yeah.
I think now it's becoming apparent that editing and filming, that they fall under those categories as well, of like, play to your strengths.
Yeah, I think when everyone starts, you want to take on the editing. You've got a vision for what you want to create, and of course, you don't have as many weddings when you're starting out as well. So you do take on the editing, and then of course you get busier. But you get busier based on the fact that it's your edits that have got you that work. So you have this sort of attachment to want to do that. But of course, as it gets busier, it becomes more difficult to do that. And the idea of outsourcing initially for people is so difficult. But I think we've spoken to you in the past, and I think that's when we were like, okay, yeah, we'll get Dan on board for this, because we were talking about numbers and stuff that you do, and I think it just blew our minds as to kind of what you were taking on. And I think that's where we wanted to get into the crux of what it is you're going to be talking about at the summit. But just to kind of give the listeners like an idea as to what your week kind of looks like as an editor for wedding videographers, can you just break that down for us?
Yeah. So I treat my week as day slots. So Monday to Friday are my sort of standard 1 day, 1 edit slots, and then Saturday and Sundays are express edits if anyone needs to purchase them. I handle 1 edit a day. So if say you sent me one of your films, that I'd say right, that's allocated to Wednesday's slot, and you usually get it done within that day. It's a sort of a 24-hour window of time for me to get that edit done. I find it so funny. It surprises people.
That's like, why? I mean, I think in our mindset we think, yeah, but we can get that done in a day, and then 3 days go by because
3 days. I was on one for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's taken me a month.
I think there's an element of the outsourcing in that though, because I'm not emotionally attached to that wedding. I can look at that wedding for what it is, and I don't sort of feel like I'm trying to shoehorn things in there or panicking about things that we would have known from filming the wedding. I can just look at it subjectively or objectively and piece it together from a viewer's perspective, I suppose, because I'm there watching it as well.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I just think about when I've had someone associate shoot for me,
But that's still your brand. If someone is shooting their wedding and someone wants to have someone edit that film in their stand, their style of shooting shoots their brand of editing. So that's the difference there, because you shoot in a particular way, and that's the difference.
Makes me angry when people don't shoot like I do.
Very high standards over there.
How dare they?
No, but I mean, hats off to you. So talk to us about kind of like.
I suppose just to caveat though as well though, my own wedding films, that I don't do them in a day. Like, they take me probably 2-3 days
because you're emotionally attached,
as opposed to 1. An element of that, and also as well because there's finalising involved in mine. I have to export it. I have to make sure all the levels are set and everything. I have to make sure that the colours look right across the board, that the audio's mixed and stuff. So and I think that can add sort of a pinch of chore to it, so that you then end up procrastinating. You then end up avoiding it. You know what sort of lay ahead of you, and it sort of puts you off just getting on with it. Whereas I can sort of, when I start someone else's edit, I can sort of see the finish line quite early on, and therefore it gives you the momentum then to carry on just pushing through when normally you'd be like, I'll put this off till tomorrow now.
I guess as well, you've got the motivation because you have not been paid for the wedding already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that.
Because they're definitely.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've been paid for the edits already.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But you're paid for them on the basis that you do it, but it's.
I think the main secret, like the main ingredient to it is, and I tell this people all the time, and they always say they can't work like that, is, but I give myself deadlines by telling the person that I'm owed to that there's a deadline. So I say you're going to get your film back on this date. Whether I do it in the morning or do it in the evening, it's getting done that day because that's what I've told them. And that's the same way in wedding films. As soon as I start to get a little bit of a backlog, an email goes out. You can expect your film, not like within 6 weeks. You can expect your film on this day, and therefore, if I don't do it until the day before, that's on me. Because I'll always stick to those deadlines, and that just forces accountability.
It's amazing how that lights like a fire underneath you when you tell a client that you need to, or they'll have it by this date. Like, because I had it last week, and I said I'll have it to you by, I think it was like the Friday, and it was like the Thursday afternoon, and I was only like about halfway through the feature, hadn't even started the highlight film, and normally that could take me anything from like 2 to 3 days. Boom,
Yeah.
got it done.
That's the thing. A deadline is a magic trick.
Friday afternoon they had it. They
Yeah.
watched it. They loved it. So yeah, it's
The only
amazing
problem with
how-
that is it's not fun, is it? Deadlines aren't fun, but
No,
they're
by God,
necessary.
it works.
It works, but I think
It
it's sort of
works.
like it creatively saps me because I feel like I'm sacrificing something when I don't have time to properly tinker around with something.
Yeah, I mean, it can do. I mean, I know that Matt Johnson, I'm pretty sure in one of his, I think he maybe talked about it on the podcast that we done with him, but he kind of talked about how just put the clips down. Like you lose so much time kind of like trying to finesse like all the little clips in the video. Just put stuff down and see if it works, and then start to trim the fat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which you know, because you get so caught up, and he's like, try not second guess it. Like, just trust your intuition. Okay, that shot should go there. That shot should go there, and start building the story that way, and then go back and rather than nitpicking, because that's the biggest time killer. And he's right. So talk to us about kind of like numbers and stuff like that then that you're doing, because obviously you've got your own wedding film business as well, which is doing how many a year?
Correct.
Roughly?
So it's all changing this year, but so last year my figures were I edited 151 weddings in total, and that was including 21 on my own.
Right.
Since then, me and ChatGPT have had very in-depth conversations, and I'm going to change the numbers now. So I need to sort of aim for sort of 12 weddings of my own, and then I think it's 115 maybe of editing for others. Off the top of my head, I think that's what the conversation was, and that basically then puts me in the financial position that I need to be in.
Sure.
Imagine you had access to everyone's ChatGPT. Like the conversations that go down in everyone's ChatGPT must be so fascinating. It's like because we have a
shared one.
a shared one for
Which
the podcast.
I basically use.
But you use. I've got full access to this if I was curious enough to look at what you're doing. It's usually about recipes or something like that I see them. But I have my own because I go deep on my ChatGPT. I don't need Danny snipping about that.
Someone brought my wife a bottle of wine the other week, and I said, like, I don't understand what all the different like names, you know, Marlboro and all these different things on the front of it. So I asked ChatGPT, and it started telling me all the differences, and like, oh, if you tell me what you're eating right now, I'll tell you which one to pair it with. And I just had a bowl of Weetabix. I was like, I've just had a bowl of Weetabix. And it then started trying to pair the perfect wine with a bowl of Weetabix for me. And I got to the end, I was like, look, I don't really care. I've eaten the Weetabix already. And it was like, you've got me. But a random
I mean,
conversation to have with the computer.
So you don't know what to pair with a Weetabix, because I'm genuinely curious.
I can't remember what it was now. I'll have to check it to see what it was, but
couldn't be a red.
yeah, I've got a feeling it might have been a Pinot Grigio.
It's got to be something sweet and light because you know, to oppose that dryness. I mean, are we talking about a dry Weetabix or a Weetabix with milk or
no?
Well, this is it. Spanners were thrown in the works because I'd had a scoop of protein in it as well, so it sort of like really threw it out.
I just sent in a meltdown.
I loved how hard it tried to find the perfect wine for my bowl of protein Weetabix.
I mean, it's just accessing like, you know, Google things like, who has written a blog on this?
Yeah.
Looking to upgrade your cameras? Well, let's introduce you to the new Lumix flagships, the S1R2
and the S1 II. Some of the features we love about these cameras are:
on the S1R2, being able to crop in past the APS-C in pixel mode, giving you 3 focal lengths from 1 prime.
And the S1 II is also feisty, giving you 5.1K open gate at 50 frames a second.
Both of these cameras have 100 frames a second with a 1.1 crop.
Plus, both these cameras come with industry-leading IBIS, which Lumix is known for.
Lumix also has a loan scheme which allows you to borrow these cameras for 48 hours so you can try them out and make sure that they're the camera for you.
Not only will they deliver them for free, but they'll also pick them up for free as well.
Use the code TWVP at the Lumix store for 10% off.
Check the link in the show notes below.
Are you tired of CRM just not getting the basic things right?
Things like being able to customize your brand fully,
or constantly sending your emails to their spam folder,
or the juicy stuff, getting analytics into performance.
That's why we have made the switch to Wadola.
The CRM built by Wedding Pros for Wedding Pros.
It's honestly the prettiest CRM we've ever seen.
To help you make the switch, we're offering 3 months free on Wadola by entering the code TWVP.
Wadola, the community-built CRM for wedding professionals. So yeah, so we're into what, like the around about, in terms of like what you've edited, the kind of 120 odd kind of mark. Is that right? 120, 130?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, between 120 and 130.
Impressive.
But yeah, like I say, that needs to come down slightly this year, just for sort of work-life balance.
But to get to that sort of level, you have to have a level of discipline, a sort of a
process.
A process.
There has to be a process.
Yes, and I think that's why we were fascinated with talking to you, because I think everyone could do with being able to have a better process when it comes to this, because sometimes people can just approach, filming or editing a wedding as a bit of overwhelm, but maybe a process would make that easier. And I think having someone like you would be able to break that process down in a way that people can take away some real value from.
Yeah, exactly. So, because I think we were talking off air, but I think you mentioned that your plan is to somewhat almost like reverse engineer an edit. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So sort of from one sort of final cut library of one of my weddings, I will work backwards, keep duplicating that project to sort of have it represented in different stages of the process, basically.
Yeah.
And then sort of just talk through how because I treat every single wedding edit the same. You mean whether it's mine or someone else's, I make it work to how I want it to work in the sense of organisation and everything. Even if someone hands me their footage, and I've got one at the moment where the Final Cut library is already set up, but I'll still sort of go in there and change it to my sort of structured organisation. Otherwise, it takes me out of my game then. So I need to make it work under my organisational process.
It's like muscle memory, isn't it? It's just like everything is where you know it should be and where it needs to be, so that you're in the most efficient. You're the most efficient as you can be, which is something.
And it's quite eye-opening to see sort of how many people don't have a consistent just folder organisation for every wedding. Like they're sort of every single time the structure comes through differently to me and stuff. And it's just, I use an app called Post Haste, I think it is. It's a little free app. I've had it years, and you design a folder template in there. And it's got its own number sequencing and everything. So every time I get a wedding back to my computer, I literally open that. It's in the next number in the sequence. I change it to the couple's name, change the date to their wedding date, and it creates their folder structure with like A cam, B cam, C cam, audio. All of the elements I need to separate my footage out. And then all of a sudden you've got. There's your organisation. Post Haste.
Post Haste.
Yeah.
I'm taking a mental note of that.
This is the thing.
I'd imagine there's other ones, but that's the one I found.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people sometimes don't have time to figure out these systems because I've got like 5 weddings I need to deliver. So they just stick to what they know and just deliver it, and they don't have chance to learn how to make this more efficient. Yeah. And I think that's what people will take away after they go and visit your station.
Yeah, because I think, so that's the thing for me, right? I say a lot of the time that I want to get like a full-on process. Like I've got my own kind of folder structure and stuff like that. It's not very technical or that, but it's just how I organize it, and I know where everything is, and I have my process of when I'm backing up and stuff. But I would say that there's not like because I think from when we talked to you before, you have almost like a brand new project kind of template for how you want things set up in your Final Cut, don't you? As like a new library, don't you?
Yeah. So the way Final Cut works, I can't speak for the other editor, the NLEs, but Final Cut has in the movies folder on your Mac, it has a default untitled Final Cut library. That's like, it's always there. So basically, for a new client, or for when I first sort of got myself organised, I took that untitled library, opened it, gave it a name, so Daniel Yates Films template, or whoever I'm doing the work for, and within that I build their template. So if they do a feature film, ceremony and speeches, I'll create those 3 projects. If they do it in a 1:3:5:1 aspect ratio, or if they do it in 1080p or whatever, I'll set that up at that point as well, so that whenever I start a new edit for that person, I literally go from that template first, which has got everything built into it. Anything that's repeatable, like that to me is sort of one of the secrets, is anything that's repeatable, have it prepped and ready. So if you're always going to drop your music down to -12, set that up in the browser so it's done already. Then it saves yourself a couple of clicks having to reset that down to -12 every time you get into that. If the dialogue's always going to be a certain level, always set it to that. If you're going to use a conversion LUT, have that in a preset ready to go, and then that way all those things are in that library ready. If you've got a title card that you use, have it in there ready, and then all those stuff are good to go the moment you start editing that next project.
So for someone like me who doesn't use Final Cut, because obviously you've mentioned Final Cut a few times, but I use Premiere Pro. There will be some people that use DaVinci. What do you do?
Sorry, where was that noise?
It's restarting as we speak.
It's having a flaky right now.
I haven't had a crash in at least 2 weeks, guys. Come on.
There is smoke coming from the coffee table.
Genuinely, I haven't had a crash in ages.
It's so shit, man.
To be fair, swings and roundabouts. We haven't had an update for about 6 years.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
But I mean, Apple are like doing that
Apple could
subscription
just
model
for
stuff now as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Do
I've
you know
seen
what the
that.
good thing about that is? See, if they're doing that subscription model, they're gonna have to put teams behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they're not going to get away.
So
it
does inspire,
cheaper, yeah. Even though it's a lot cheaper than Adobe, they're not going to get away with not bringing out updates for it. So I think, even though they're the fucking one of the most richest companies out there, they're still thinking about that as like that needs to be generating its own money probably to have a team dedicated to doing updates for it. But it needs something.
Yeah,
because it's falling behind.
Yeah, it is reassuring because I work with sort of the background fear that any day they could just go, we're not using this product anymore, and discontinue it. And then I'm like, oh, great, now I need to go and quickly relearn another one.
Yeah, surely not. I mean,
they'll keep it. They've got no reason.
The hardware is designed for
Studio,
it.
Didn't they?
Yeah, they'd piss too many people off.
Yeah,
but
actually,
all their advertising is DaVinci, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's it. Well, the crux of my question was, if I'm not someone who's using the editor that you're showcasing on the day, am I still going to learn what I need to do to take that into my own sort of editing platform?
Yeah, I think so, because the things that I will talk about are universal things. They might be different in terms of, a keyboard shortcut on my computer is going to be different to a keyboard shortcut on yours, and you might not want to use the same ones as me anyway, but generally the information's universal. You just need to sort of rewrap it into how that works within your NLE, basically.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and obviously we don't want to give the game away completely because we want obviously people to come to the summit. But like, what's aside maybe from like having the things like structured and ready to go kind of thing? Like, what's the other kind of like main thing that helps you stay consistent and a consistent speed of editing? Is there any other kind of like fundamentals in there?
Yeah. So the other thing that works for me is making it small. It's and what I mean by that is I break everything into manageable chunks so that I don't feel like I've got a whole project in front of me all the time. So I'll always break the footage into parts of the day. So preps, ceremony, reception, evening. Do you know what I mean? And then that way when I look at each event, so in Final Cut, it's event. I don't know what you call it in Premiere.
Bins.
I can just see
where Premiere belongs.
A bin. So, Turf war. So when I'm looking at the reception, I've possibly got so whereas the project might have 600 shots in it, when I look at the reception, I've got 110 shots, and then all of a sudden I'm like, right, well, I can see them all on my screen in one go. I'm like, right, all I need to do is get to the bottom of there, and then I can go and make myself a cup of tea, or it's lunchtime, or I've got half an hour, I might as well do it now, sort of thing. Whereas if I'm looking at 600 shots, that's not a half an hour job. That's not that's not something that's going to be done without any sort of friction. So I break things into smaller sections. I have the multicams ready to go. So when I set the project up, break things into smaller sections, make the multicams, and then when I finish favoriting the footage, which in Final Cut, that's you're in, you're out, and you F to favorite it, and then when you're done, you show favorites only, and it gets rid of anything that you've not favorited.
It's a good feature that actually. I'll be honest, I learned
fantastic feature.
We learned that off of Rue's cheat code.
And there's still a lot of people that don't use it. Still a lot of people chuck their footage straight into the timeline and trim it down in there.
Yeah, unfortunately, there isn't something like that in Premiere. That is something that would be quite appealing. I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I think because
there isn't DaVinci as far as I know.
DaVinci has.
Doesn't crash
DaVinci has
either.
it.
Yeah. I mean, you're making a good case. I pay the most for the worst software. I get it, but it just does everything.
Do you know what that's called? Daylight robbery.
Yeah.
Next week, we're sponsored by Adobe. Watch.
Yeah,
I take it back.
Adobe have just pulled out of the summit.
Yeah. Wait, no, they're not.
So yeah, so making it small and also just staying out of the timeline for as long as possible. I know that sort of sounds an odd thing to say, but the more time you spend, I mean, it's that saying, isn't it? Fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Yeah.
The more time I spend prepping everything before I go into that timeline, when I finally get into the timeline, I'm so sort of finely tuned and the momentum's there that I can go through without having to constantly go, oh crap, that's got something in it, I need to cut that out, or that's got something wrong with that, I need to do that. The more time I've spent getting everything ready and making everything as tight as possible in the first place, the easier it is once I get into the timeline to not lose focus and just sort of carry on plowing through it.
Do you have a recipe for picking out sound bites in the ceremony and speeches? Like, is there like things you're looking for just to make that quick?
I do, but I think a portion of it is like intuition and just doing it for so long. As I'm listening, so I favourite first, and then so that when I come to do the ceremony and the speeches, I know what footage I've got in terms of what I'm looking for in the story. So if say the groom goes into or the best man goes into a really specific story about something, I'm like, I might as well fast forward through that right now because it's that's not going to sit anywhere in this film. If the dad's talking about seeing her in a dress, but I've got no footage of him seeing her in a dress sort of thing, or something like that didn't happen, there's no point trying to pull that from the story because it's not going to sit anywhere with it.
Yeah.
I'm looking for things that are spoken in sort of past tense, in the sense that anything that's mentioned as if the dad says like when you looked absolutely stunning in your dress today, and when I walked you down the aisle, well, that can't go before the aisle now because he said when I walked you down the aisle. So I'm looking for things that are relevant to the what's going to be on the screen at the time. I don't know, I find that a hard one to sort of coach on because I do think there's just a level of intuition involved.
I was going to say, like, I think that with that it's you know if it's going to fit or not. It's just one of those things that it's like a time serve thing, isn't it? That you just eventually know what's going to work and what's not.
So I feel like I'm at the point now as well where I can hear half a sentence and know that okay, that sentence doesn't work as a whole, but I can take that half there, and there's going to be another half later on that those two will tie up together.
Yeah.
And I can sort of, almost like editing one of Donald Trump's speeches, I can sort of get him saying anything really.
Yeah. Well, I can vouch for what you were saying about organising footage.
I can vouch for Donald Trump. Make weddings great again.
This charge queen. Organising your footage into smaller chunks. Like I did that when I was editing a lot for myself, like putting the morning footage, putting the venue footage, putting drinks reception, the groom prep, splitting it up. And I would do like
you color code it, don't you?
Yeah, because I use Premiere, there's not like a way to do that in Final Cut that I think you can do. But I would just on Finder, I would just scroll down the footage out of my camera clips, and then I would just drag them into different folders on my Finder, and then I would drag all those folders into Premiere, and I've got different bins for them, and I can color code all the footage because they're already separated, and then I can put them on a timeline and drag them up, which is my version of favoriting. I can put my timeline, scrub through it, and just drag the bits up in and out that I want, and that way I've got two tracks. One is usable and one is unusable, and that was a much quicker way for me to just get through the day in smaller sections because it's only going to take me 10 minutes to go through the morning prep. It's only going to take me 8 minutes to go through this bit. It's much easier than looking at a full edit. So that's a solid tip that I think most people should take on.
Yeah. What's the biggest time waster that you've like identified and removed from your like process over the years?
I think it's not necessarily in the process itself, but I've just gotten very used to setting what my boundaries are in terms of if a new client comes on, just sort of letting them know how I plan to do things rather than letting them sort of take control and dictate to a certain extent. Because in the early days, I was, I suppose, a bit of a yes man in the sense that like whatever was chucked at me, I'd have a go at doing. And it quickly became apparent that doesn't work. I need to sort of put it through my factory basically to be able to do it efficiently.
Yeah, because I guess like it then will cause friction between you and the client, I guess, and then it's not good for anybody. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
It is hard to say no. I'm very much a victim of that.
You are a yes man.
I'm a yes man.
He's
Big time.
He needs a full.
And I am by trade.
trilogy.
I'm happy to say no so long as that information was already there. So if I agree to something and I've not already got sort of a contract in place or a T's and C's in place, I then find it very hard to then go back on what I've agreed to. Whereas if I send something across and the information was there and it's just been sort of not misread or not been taken in, then I'm happy at that point to say, no, look, I don't do that. Like this is as far as I go with this sort of thing.
Okay, we'll have a little bit more from Dan just after this quick break. If you want to give your couples a viewing experience that matches the quality of your films, then VidFlow is the way to go.
Just upload your work, let the couples watch it on their TV, they can view a gallery on their phone, and wrap it up with all your branding so they get the ultimate viewing experience.
Think of it like Netflix, but for wedding films.
Listeners of That Wedding Videographer podcast get 10% off when they use the code TWVP. Hit the link in the show notes to get started.
Level up your wedding film delivery experience today.
If your editing backlog is stressing you out, Bride and Groom Video are here to help.
You get a dedicated account manager that matches an editor to your unique style, so your films can get delivered without the overwhelm.
Listeners of That Wedding Videographer podcast get £75 off their first order by using the code TWVP75.
And for UK videographers only, brideandgroom.video have launched a special package price for feature and highlight films just for you.
Plus, you'll also get an extra discount in ceremony and speeches.
This makes it much more cost effective to use brideandgroom.video as your editing studio.
Send your footage, send your brief, and they'll sort the rest.
Hasta la vista, backlog. We've got people coming to the summit, which, you know, I know there's a lot of people that are really, really looking forward to hearing from you and chatting, because I think it's, you know, editing efficiently while still keeping the quality high, I think is one of those things that a lot of people struggle with. And I know it's going to be a bit different, like you said, when it's, you know, that person's own footage. It's maybe you're not going to get up to maybe the exact speeds that you're able to do because you don't have, you know, that emotional attachment to the footage. But like, what would you be happy with the people that are coming to the summit? What would you be happy if for them to walk away with? What would be your idea of, I guess, like a success of the summit? If they are able to kind of like go away from that summit and go, right, okay, I took this away, I'm going to do that. What would be that thing?
I think just the small details of understanding how to make themselves more efficient, sort of noticing the points in their editing where they're sort of doing something repeatable, or they are where they sort of find, okay, my attention's starting to wane now. Like, what's the reason behind that? Rather than just thinking, I don't want to do this, I'm not enjoying it. There's a reason why you've been sort of pulled out of your momentum, and it's identifying that and just just realizing what it is that is stopping you from being more focused and more efficient, really.
Yeah,
something that I think every one of us need.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'll be there. I mean, this is the thing with Jason and I at the summits, right? We don't get the benefit of them.
We have a miserable time.
We don't have a miserable. He's miserable. I'm not. I'm buzzing. But it's just you're in. You know, it's like on a wedding. You know when you're in the zone. You know when it's like when. Yeah. For us, do you know what it's like? It's like during ceremony and during speeches. You know when during ceremony and speeches when the photographer wants to have a chat with you because they're having a jolly. And you're like, and sometimes I've had photographers go, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing. I'm in the zone. Like, leave me alone. Don't talk to me then.
I can't even hear the speeches.
I know.
I'm like, I'm so focused on.
But that's what it's like when you're hosting the event. You want to make sure that everybody else is having a good time, kind of thing. But I'm definitely going to carve out a little bit of time just to kind of do a bit of earwigging on your section, because it's definitely something that I could be doing with a bit of help with, just in terms of improving the workflow of my editing process, I think, you know.
Yeah.
And it's something loads of people. I don't really know, apart from you, Dan. I don't know that many people that just have it on lockdown. You know.
People go through spells, and then there's a time period where they just don't have it.
Yeah.
But to have that lockdown, I mean, yes, the deadlines and stuff work for you, but it's a hell of a commitment.
Well, I think like we said earlier, when you're busy, you haven't got time to put better systems in place. But by putting better systems in place, you're not as busy, are you? So it's deciding, like, is it worth sort of half a day or a day of fiddling and a bit of pain to then make it easier moving forward, basically.
Yeah, no, definitely. Anything else you want to ask?
I mean, I think I want to ask more, but to do that, I have to buy a ticket to the summit. Which is,
I see what you've done there.
That's the thing. If you want to find out more from this man who knows so much about editing and can make your life so much easier, get a ticket to the summit.
Come hang with us.
It's on March 31st at St. Luke's in Glasgow, and you can get a ticket by going to twvp.co.uk/summit.
You forgot the www.
I forgot nothing, Dan. Nothing. Do you use www when you put in a website?
Not usually. You just type it in nowadays,
because it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Just like that camera's going to be irrelevant through this entire episode.
The people have to know. Which actually, just as a quick sign off, we didn't even mention the poster behind Dan.
Freedom!
Freedom!
You may take our lives, but you may never take our freedom.
I'm not sure that there's many Englishmen out there that have got a poster of Braveheart in the back. That's why before the call started, I was like, Dan, are you Scottish? Have you seen the Mistaken Braveheart with the white van?
Which one?
The white van. I mean, there's quite a lot. But the white van that's in Braveheart, there's like a white van.
I imagine I've spotted it over the years. Yeah, it's in the field in the background, isn't it? Sort of going down the lane.
Like,
but I mean, but who's to say there wasn't a white van back then? That's the question, isn't it?
William Wallace.
I thought the mistake was going to be like, can you believe they killed him at the end? How dare they?
I mean, like, history. Got it wrong.
Spoiler alert.
No, that was quite funny. I didn't know if that was just for us that you put that one up, Dan, but no.
I should have said that, really.
Yeah.
In honour of you guys, I've bought a framed picture.
Fully expecting a Saltar face mask at the summit.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not a bad shout. I might wear a kilt for you.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah, you probably good in a kilt, to be fair, mate. You got good in a kilt.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, well, yeah. Some people don't.
Yeah, it's true.
Some people. Anyway,
it's much better than English wedding suits, isn't it?
Well, you say that.
No.
See, we're sick of them now because that's all we see. So whenever we see a tux, we're like, oh, there you go.
It's fun. It's funny.
Yeah,
though.
but I don't know. I find Scottish suits and kilts and whatnot. I find there's more to them. There's more points of interest on them. Whereas like a tux is a tux. You've got the bow tie to film and the cufflinks, and that's about it. Whereas you've got the
yeah. I mean, a turns is okay. Yeah. I mean, I just think with a kilt, there's so many things to do it, but there's so many because people don't dress them. There's so many ill-fitting kilts.
Oh, it's so bad. I shot a wedding last year and poor groom. It was like he was in his dad's kilt.
Yeah,
it was bad.
But there's just I think when we see tuxes, it's so rare for us to get that.
Yeah, we're like, oh,
and on the flip
fancy.
side, for people in England, if they see a kilt, it's like, oh, that is something different.
Yeah.
We see it every weekend.
yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
it's like it's like bagpipers at weddings. Like
yeah.
you probably don't get bagpipers. Like I hear a bagpiper every Saturday.
But that was like when we went to. Remember when we went to
Ireland?
Ireland, so we done a workshop for the wedding filmmakers workshop. And there was a load of Americans here, and they're like, "What?" They had the bagpiper, like bagpiping of the end. They're like, "Oh my god, it's a bagpiper!" And we're like, "Yeah."
To be fair, when we see a bagpiper at a wedding, we do tend to go ballistic and get sort of a lot of shots of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a novelty.
I'll see one busking on the street and go like, and people are like, "Oh my god!" Like taking pictures, and I'm like, I literally see this every week. I'm done with it.
Yeah, and to be fair, when I visited Edinburgh, I made sure I got some footage of the bagpiper in the streets as well.
Yeah. I did actually get an email from a wedding couple who said they wanted like the bagpipe to be more of a central feature, and I was like, oh, really? I generally thought it was just standard.
See, the thing is as well though is I find like for you music people out there that are maybe listening, you'll be like, you know, saying that I'm causing cardinal sin or something like that, but I just find like, see, when I hear it, I really struggle to get any key to fit in. Like,
oh, it's jarring.
It's piercing.
But that's the attraction.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I mean, it's not a beautiful sound.
We are proud to be Scottish, just so you know. It's
it's not a traditionally beautiful sounding instrument, isn't it? On its own, in a
I mean,
chorus
you say that, but I didn't see a
bagpipes.
Braveheart poster in the background for you guys.
You should have had This Is England.
Oh man, look, this has been a Summit special with Dan Yates, our first industry pro to join us on the Summit specials. We're gonna be having these every single Monday, but remember and go and get your tickets to the Summit. Dan will be there as well as every other speaker and pro that we've got. What's the website, Danny?
www.twvp.co.uk/summit.
Welcome to the 90s, folks.
Summit is happening.
Dan, thanks so much for joining us today. How can people find out more information about yourself?
So if you go to my website, www.danielyatesfilms.com.
Sorry, you're going to have to say that again because we ruined that.
danielyatesfilms.com, basically.
Yes.
Amazing.
Dan stick together. Daniels.
Amazing. Great.
Mate, thank you so much. And yeah, to everybody out there, thanks for listening. We will see you on Thursday, but we'll also see you next Monday for our next Summit special. Catch you then.
And I'm assuming after you've listened to this, we'll also see you on the 31st of March.
Yes.